Innovation Fellow on our staff and my co-teacher for JLF.
Awesome. Good evening, everyone. I am so excited to be here tonight with all of you to celebrate our Spring 2021 JLF grads. Tonight, we're going to be celebrating two separate cohorts, JLF Life's Big Questions, which was facilitated this semester by Rabbi Sarah, our intern Mazel Reese, and I, and JLF 2.0 Big Israel Questions, which was facilitated by our Director of Engagement, Logan Woodard, and his intern, Galia Weschler. With our office remaining closed all year for in-person events because of the pandemic, and our students both on campus and also staying home to do school virtually, Hello Buffalo, we worked so hard this year to convert all of our programs to be virtual to cater to the health and well-being of our community. This was my second time teaching JLF this year, and again, I was just absolutely blown away at the students' strong yearning for community and connection to Jewish life and other Jewish students. This course is designed for students to grapple with life's big questions in a way that's on their terms and connected to their lives as a Jewish student, a student here at UB, and this semester, a student facing unprecedented times as a student during a global pandemic. I personally did JLF as an undergrad at the University of Kansas, and years later, I still think about the foundation it provided me as I explored Judaism in college. It is such a privilege that I now get to facilitate these lessons to foster the Jewish growth of undergraduate students here at UB. Before I go on to give an outline of the night, I just want to take a moment to focus on who helps make this amazing opportunity available for students here at UB. This program is made possible by the sponsorship of three very special partners of Hillel of Buffalo. We would like to thank the Foundation of Jewish Philanthropies and the Akiba Jewish Studies Fund, the Buffalo Jewish Federation, and Hillel International for their sponsorship. We are joined tonight by Irv Levy from the Foundation and Rob Goldberg and Shelley Yellen of the Federation, as well as leadership from their boards. We are so grateful for you guys for investing in the program, and more so investing in this very special, committed group of students and leaders. As you will hear, this program has made a huge difference for them, and we thank you. Now, to give you an idea of a rundown of the night, next we're going to be hearing from our JLF intern, Mazel Reese, and then from JLF grad, Sam Leifer, as they share their experience this semester. And then we're going to hand it over to Logan, who's going to introduce JLF 2.0 Big Israel Questions, and his intern, Galia, and student Blake LaBelle, who will share their experiences. And then we're going to hand it over to Rabbi Sarah, who's going to share a few words before she leads us in celebrating our grads. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. And Matal, the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Matal, and I had the lucky experience of being the JLF intern this semester. I also had the pleasure of taking this course last semester, and that experience in itself was so fun and fulfilling that when I got the chance to be an intern, I really couldn't pass it up. This semester, I had so much fun meeting new people, making new friends, and having the opportunity to rediscuss topics and even see new ideas and new perspectives. So I just want to thank Rabbi Sarah and Macy and everyone else in JLF for making the experience so fulfilling, and I'm so grateful for all the good discussions we've had.
Matal, thank you so much. And I'll say more about what a special intern you were in a little bit. But we'd like to hear from Sam Leifer, a member of our JLF section, to share more about his experience.
Thank you. Yes, this was my first ever JLF class from the Hill of Buffalo, and I'd say it was a really awesome experience as a whole, especially during the COVID times. It's really hard. It's been kind of hard to get to connect with other students since like all of our classes are online. So it's been really difficult, meeting new people and everything like that. So from the breakout rooms and long discussions we've had every week during JLF, it's been really meaningful that I got the chance and opportunity to do that and get closer with other students. Having gone to Solomon Schechter Day Schools since like first grade, it's been weird for me not getting to learn Hebrew or learn about Judaism every day. So being able to learn about Judaism and various topics from JLF really helps me get used to get that feeling of home, getting what I had in high school, middle school, and elementary school. And I'm really happy that I was able to experience that. And again, I'd like to thank Macy, my Sarah, and Mazel for helping me experience it. Thank you.
Sam, thank you so much. And I'm glad that this is an opportunity for you to continue your studies in college. So I will now turn it over to Logan Woodard, our Director of Engagement.
Hello, everybody. So JLF 2.0 was made up of a group of students who have previously participated in JLF 1.0. Some of these students took JLF last semester and others up to 3 years ago. There's a great conglomerate of students from different JLF cohorts in the past. And together we created an environment where we could openly explore Israel through the lens of relationship. We explored different perspectives on Israel, both old and new. And most importantly, we explored our own perspectives and our relationships with Israel. And we learned that these are changing. These are, at times we think we know what that relationship is, but then, I don't know, maybe next week we don't. And in our last session, we learned that everybody, is really interested in JLF and more Israel and having more of these moments together. And now I want to introduce Galia Wexler, who was the JLF 2.0 intern. Galia, take it away.
Hi, everyone. I started my JLF journey last fall as a freshman when I took JLF 1, Answering Life's Big Questions. JLF also has a special place in my heart because it's how I met two of my roommates and best friends. So shout out to you. So when Rabbi Sarah first told me that Hillel would be offering a JLF course about Israel, it immediately piqued my interest. I was really excited to be on the other end of the class, working so closely with Logan and the material, helping guide meaningful discussions and understanding of various topics we addressed over the course of the semester. I have so loved and appreciated the experience of being the intern for JLF 2.0, working with Logan and finding a way to stay active in Hillel during COVID. Being the intern after taking JLF as a participant gave me deeper insight into the program and everything that goes into producing a session with meaningful dialogue and interpretations. I was also able to bring experience of being a participant to Logan's and my preparation each week, which led us to tapping into the specifics that were particularly interesting and pertinent to students. JLF gave participants, as well as myself, the opportunity to engage with Israel in a new and unique way. Each week, we discussed a different theme that had strong relevance to Israel, such as community, language, patriotism, or what our relationships with Israel are as diaspora Jews. So what was so special about discussing Israel this way is that it was designed to be accessible to everyone, no matter their level of prior knowledge or experience with Israel. And because of this, students brought various perspectives to the table each week. My biggest takeaway after each week was all the different angles through which participants looked at these issues, some of which I never would have thought of myself. Each topic's discussion benefited tremendously from diversity of thought and contribution by all the participants. Logan and I were so excited to see at the end of our semester how many students wanted to keep these conversations going with more JLF type programming. So because of this, my message to students would be to keep asking these thoughtful questions and sharing your thoughts with each other, and continue to challenge yourselves and each other by engaging in these dialogues. JLF would not have been what it is without each participant making the most of it the way you all did, especially after a long year on Zoom, which didn't stop you all from coming each week with your ideas and your questions about Israel. It has been such a pleasure to meet and work with all of you this semester, and a special thank you to Logan for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Galia. I'm going to introduce Blake LaBelle, who had the pleasure of taking JLF, kind of bookending his college career. Blake.
All right. Well, first off, I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. When I started this program, I was a freshman. That was in the fall of 2017. And now I address you as a senior in my last semester here at UB as an undergrad. So as Logan just said, kind of took my line away from me. This has made a very nice bookend. When I started JLF, it was the only JLF on campus. Now it's known as JLF 1.0. And I was a new freshman. I hadn't made a lot of friends beyond welcome weekend. And after joining JLF, I had made a lot of great friends. Two of them on this call right now are my roommates and have been my roommates since sophomore year. And I also made many friends who've graduated. JLF in the beginning opened up a lot of conversations about who we were as a person. And now as I finished JLF 2.0, we've had a lot of conversations about Israel. And it has created a lot of dialogue between me and other Jewish students on campus, and has created a lot of dialogue not only on Thursdays in our class, but also outside of class between me and fellow students. I would like to personally thank Rabbi Sarah and Logan. Specifically, you two ran JLF 1, and Logan, you helped with Galia run JLF 2. And that has created friendships and connections that I will cherish forever. As I kind of close out, I would just like to again thank everybody, not only for creating this space, but all the students for participating. I know 2.0 was online, and that was not probably what everybody wanted, but everybody made the best of it, and we had a fantastic time. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that, Blake. And it's very special to have had you in our first JLF, and now in our fifth or sixth JLF. So very, very exciting. We're now going to give all of our JLF graduates a chance to walk across the virtual stage. So you will get to see a quote from them, and students, when it's your turn, you can hold up your certificate, give us a nice cheesy grin, and you're gonna read your quote. Okay, so give me 1 second just to pull those up. Again, I will call your name, your quote will pop up. You'll have the chance to read that for us so that we can all hear from all of your reflections, and hold up your certificate. And just so you know, for all of our guests, our students are receiving a certificate. They also received a special book. Thank you, Federation, for your sponsorship of that. A book to keep their learning and their conversations going. These are two very thought-provoking books, so that it will stay on their bookshelves, and they'll be able to remember this experience and continue to challenge themselves with these new ideas. You're welcome to place your Mazel Tov wishes in the chat. And then when everyone's had the chance, then I will unmute you so that we can properly clap and cheer them on. So our first is Alex Kane. Go ahead and unmute. You're going to show everyone how it's done, and then go ahead and read your quote for us.
All righty. Thank you, guys. So to me, JLF was a really great experience. Being home this semester and away from Hillel, I struggled with connecting with my Jewish identity as much as I have in years past. I'm sure many people can agree with that. JLF helped me have a stronger connection this semester while I was at Zoom University.
Thank you, Alex. Alexis was not able to join us tonight, but we'll just note her comment. To me, JLF was a great way to connect with future friends while also learning some new things. Ayelet.
Hi. Okay. Here. Because of JLF, I got to study a piece of Judaism while I was on campus when I didn't have that opportunity before, and I got to meet more Jewish students.
Chloe.
So my biggest JLF takeaway is...
Wait, hang on, Chloe.
Okay. So my biggest JLF takeaway is even though we may celebrate our Jewishness differently, we all still share something in common, being Jewish. And one of our lessons, that was our past. So.
Mazel tov. Dan. Mazel tov, Dan. Dan commented to me, JLF was an awesome place to learn about each other and Judaism. Izzy.
To me, JLF was a good way for me to get more in touch with my heritage.
Mazel tov. Jacob.
My biggest takeaway from JLF is that we are our own people and follow our own rules as we see fit. We can still be open to see other people's sides and open to change. Our own individual experiences greatly influence every aspect of our lives.
Mazel tov, Jacob. James.
For me, JLF was thoughtful. I am more aware of the general context of Judaism, and the Torah can be very progressive.
Mazel tov, James. Ayla.
To me, JLF was an eye-opening experience that allowed me to see Judaism from all different perspectives.
Kayla, Mazel tov. Lenny.
Because of JLF, I was able to spend time with people with similar backgrounds and talk about issues I never would have without it.
Mazel tov, Lenny. Nicole is traveling. She wrote, to me, JLF was the highlight of my week, a place I learned, met people, had respectful debates, and fun. And not to brag, but Nicole often zoomed in from Mexico. So the fact that JLF could be the highlight of her week, I just want to say that that's not a bad thing to say at all. Mazel tov, Nicole. Sam.
To me, JLF was a great way for me to learn more about Judaism in a fun and interesting way while meeting new people.
Mazel tov. There you go. Next is Skylar.
Because of JLF, I met new people that I wouldn't have met otherwise.
Mazel tov. Natal.
Okay. Because of JLF, I was able to learn more about Judaism and have really interesting conversations about the way in which the world works.
Very good. And Maytal, you have a special certificate that notes your service as an intern. And I know it looks like your certificate from last semester, but it has some new special words on it. That's right, intern. And so just want to take a moment from myself and from Macy to thank you. You are often, when we would check in at our weekly staff meetings, you're like, I'm having a really busy day, this big assignment, or work, all these things. And you always ended that with, but it's fine, I will handle it. And you were always there at the ready to help us think of what we would do, how we might adapt things, and really representing the students to us. And Macy and I really want this to be a student-friendly and student-focused experience. And we just can't do that without you and without interns. And so thank you so much for taking so much care to make this experience as special for the students in the class as it was for you last semester. And we're just so grateful for you making the time and putting so much hard work and energy into this. So special applause for Maytal. We transition now to our JLF 2.0 Big Israel Questions graduates. First up, we have Adi.
Hi guys. To me, JLF was a safe space for me to speak about my Judaism and my connection to Israel and the Jewish community. I felt comfortable, had fun, and met other Jews on campus. JLF provided me and others with a sense of community we otherwise would not have at UB.
Mazel tov, Adi. Adina.
To me, JLF is very important to staying connected to the Jewish community during the pandemic.
Thank you. Alex.
How's it going? Well, to me, JLF has been a great escape from the monotony of school. Each week, I've been able to put my schoolwork aside and have a refreshing conversation about Judaism and Israel.
Wonderful. Mazel tov. Aliyah.
JLF takeaway is interpretations of Judaism and our relationship to Israel being more flexible than I originally thought. I know I didn't write this in the quote, but like it's been something like the entire course has really helped me really work on my own relationship with Israel.
Thank you. Mazel tov. Blake.
To me, JLF was life-changing. During my first JLF, I met two of my roommates who I've lived with for 3 years. JLF also created open dialogue amongst fellow UB Jews, which showed me new perspectives I will carry throughout my life.
Mazel tov. Josh.
To me, JLF was a good opportunity to connect with old and new people and to get a little more insight into the history of Israel and Jewish identity. It still managed to be engaging even over Zoom, which impressed me given how terrible online events tend to be.
Thank you, Josh. Mazel tov. Speaking of Josh.
Because of JLF, I was able to learn more information about Israel and the concept of Zionism and had the amazing opportunity to speak with amazing people about it.
Thank you. Mazel tov. Kiana.
Hello. Because of JLF, I feel way more connected with the Jewish community and my Jewish self. I have learned a tremendous amount these past few weeks on Israel and the Jewish religion.
Thank you. Zach.
Yeah, all right. Mine got a little cut down, but I'm happy here. To me, JLF was a great way to stay connected to the Jewish community at UB.
Mac, mazel tov. Miriam.
My biggest JLF takeaway is taking time once a week to spend time with my friends to talk is very important to me.
Mazel tov, Miriam. Natan.
There you go. To me, JLF was an opportunity to have important conversations with my peers about topics important to us as Jews.
Beautiful. Mazel tov. Perla.
Hi. Because of JLF, I was able to stay connected to my Jewish roots.
Mazel tov. Ari.
To me, JLF was an important opportunity to engage in deeper conversation with other students. Because of JLF, I have learned more about myself and the Hillel community. My biggest takeaway is that it's okay to have a differing opinion and ask questions that may seem easy.
Mazel tov. Aya.
Cool. Okay. Because of JLF, I was able to expand my worldview on certain issues and hear new ideas that, even if they didn't change my mind, it was really great to hear new perspectives and to hear how other people think.
Mazel tov, Shaya. Alia.
JLF was a great opportunity to have meaningful discussions about Judaism and keep up my involvement with Hillel and learn new things from different people's perspectives.
And Galia, I'm going to hop in and thank you so much for helping make JLF 2.0 all that it was, and for helping me constantly remember things and doing some back-end tech stuff. I had tons of fun. And last semester, actually a year ago, Galia and I, we were talking about starting a Blundstone club together, which is something, it's an Israeli shoe. And I'm so happy that we got to exercise the Israeli muscle together this semester in JLF 2.0. Thank you.
Mazel tov. You're welcome now if you'd like to come off mute and give a nice round of applause to all of our graduates.
Woohoo! Woo! Let's go!
Congratulations, one and all.
Sick.
Good job, fantastic.
Fantastic.
Mazel tov to everybody.
Yes, Mazel tov.
Proud of all of you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mazel tov.
Oh, there's the team.
Thank you, everyone. So I want to share a couple of last words with all of you, and thinking about making sure I'm right in the right place on our script here. Okay, good. So thinking about this night and the fact that it's enhanced because this evening begins the holiday of Lag BaOmer. We're commanded in the Torah to count the days and the weeks between the holidays of Passover and Shavuot, 7 weeks, 49 days in all. And while there are many happy things about this time period, commemorating the Exodus from Egypt, leading up to receiving the Torah from Mount Sinai, actually during this time in later generations, disaster befell our people. And so many treat this time, which should otherwise be joyful, as a time of mourning. One of the terrible things that we're taught happened is that a famous scholar, Rabbi Akiva, who raised many, many, many scholars of his own, witnessed a plague that brought about the death of 12,000 pairs of his scholars, 24,000 scholars in all. And the Talmud tells us that these scholars fell ill to a plague, and worse, that they were struck with this plague because they did not treat one another with honor. Now, I imagine the situation was more complicated than that, but why would the Talmud attribute their death to a lack of honor when they could have blamed anything that they wanted? Why is honoring your study partner so vital that if you don't act in this way, then you don't get to live anymore? So the reason is that when you dive into studying these ancient texts and truly take them to heart, then you interpret them through your own values and life experiences. And if you're doing it right, you will disagree. Students, you have done it right this semester. You have interpreted texts about Judaism and Israel through the lens of your values and your life experiences. And you did not always agree, and that is a beautiful thing. Furthermore, when you disagreed, you honored one another's views and you engaged in respectful dialogue. And I'm sure that none of us here tonight takes that for granted. Not in today's world, where disagreement so often leads to disrespect and labeling and shutting people off altogether, completely disengaging. For me, coming to JLF each week was a bright spot, a reminder that these students know a better way to engage. As you can see in the smiles on the students' faces this evening and in the words that they shared, the space that you have created together to disagree respectfully has brought you closer together. You honored one another's differences, but you also honored one another as humans. You honored each other's time. You listened to each other, and you made this a joyful hour of your week that you could truly savor. Tonight, on Lag BaOmer, the 33rd day of the Omer, we are taught that the plague ceases. Rabbi Akiva's scholars stopped dying, perhaps because they finally learned to honor one another. This is the night that our mourning turns into celebration, a celebration of honor. There is no more fitting day to celebrate your study and your connections with one another. So keep them going, continue to respect one another, to reach out and connect and dive right back into your conversations and debates. Logan and Macy and I are so proud of you, and we will remember you for years to come as a very special group of students to us. So Mazel tov on your commencement. We will now recite together a prayer for happy times. Whoops. Let me get that teed up. And we have a special treat. So get excited. Because we will be accompanied for the Shekiana blessing by Sari Arrow. Hang on, Sari, don't start yet. And We have the words here on the screen in Hebrew and transliteration and translation. So I hope that you will all join in with her.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'yehikianu b'zman hazeh.
Very nice.
Thank you, Sari. That was so beautiful and just so special to be able to bless a special moment like this. So this concludes our formal programming, but we will invite you to stay and hang out. I know that that Logan and Macy and I are particularly interested in greeting all the community members who are here and getting to meet the parents of our students that we feel like we know your children so well. And so obviously think highly of you already, and would love the chance to schmooze and chat a little bit if you want to hang on for that. And also want to invite you to join us for another event, if you like this one, on Monday night. We are having a student showcase. In fact, Sari will be presenting a lesson on American Sign Language, and Joshua Oken will be leading a conversation on Judaism and climate change. And Shaya Kamenofsky, oh, everyone's here, I just realized, will be leading a debate on Jewish ethics and sports. And so you will have a choice to join one of those 3 fantastic programs that the students will be leading. And we'll also have some live illustrations. So just another chance to experience the warmth and the fun of these students. I'm gonna put in the chat the link to sign up for that. And want to wish all the students Mazel Tov one more time.